So free college. I don't support free college, and here's why. I think that it already is free, or at least the useful part of it is free. The weird thing to me about college is that much of it is not actually the information. If you want to study everything that you will learn in an English degree, most of those books are in the public domain. It's literally free. If you have an internet connection, you're good. If you have a library card, go there, you've got the books and the internet connection for all the other books. So what exactly does the degree offer? And the same could be said for mechanical engineering. I mean, there are so many apps that will teach you. There is so much information. The trouble with engineers is they need to be certified, and that, I think, is the crux of the issue. What a university is selling is a mixture of its certification, the degree itself, the thing at the end of the tunnel, and I guess its name. So if college was free for everybody, we would be subsidizing the certification and universalizing the certification, not the knowledge. And I just find that fascinating. If you're looking for competence, which is based off of mastery of information, concepts, and principles, and that's something that requires practice. You can't just do it in your basement by yourself unless you're actually applying it. So it wouldn't be enough to just read the great books to get an English degree or the equivalent thereof. You would have to do a whole lot of writing and also a fair amount of peer review to make sure that what you were writing was decent. Anywho, I was just thinking about the problem of free college and realized that it already is free, and I thought, gosh, that's fascinating, and I want to make a short video about it. So college is free already. The thing that we are actually talking about is the certification. And one of the problems that I have with college broadly is that certification is mostly arbitrary. I mean, my first job out of college, I was teaching high school. I was interviewing for a high school position. I had an English degree, and my first position, I'm interviewing to teach high school English, presumably. And it turns out that they don't have any space for an English teacher. I find this out halfway through the interview. So I slid my resume forward on the desk, and I said, what you have in front of you right there is my paper education. Let me tell you about my real education. And I explained to them that I had been learning how to make gunpowder from human urine, and that I had been learning how to smelt iron, which is something that's repeatedly come up on this channel. And, all these good and basic-y type projects. And the two administrators I was interviewing with looked at each other and said, how would you like to teach junior high science classes? Now, to do that regulatorily was a little difficult. Utah allows something called an ARL, which is an alternate route to licensure, which allows you to teach without the specific degree and praxis examination for up to 4 years if you jump through a couple of other hoops. And so with an English degree, I taught junior high and high school science for a year. And it was awesome. I wrote the curriculum from scratch. I taught my students. I helped them to develop a love for science and an understanding of the method and the background of Karl Popper and falsification and, some really, really good stuff. But that wasn't my certification. So, if you were looking at me purely through the paper world, the paper lens, the one that college is really in the business of selling, then I was not qualified to teach science. In practice, I was. I was able to teach and I made a really good curriculum. Every time they had people come in to inspect the way I was teaching, I got really high marks. And that's something I'm proud of, justifiably, I think. So anyway, I did that mostly through YouTube, which is free, and books, which are free, and trying to build things with my hands, which is also free as long as the parts are cheap. A lot of the supplies for things I've made have come out of dumpsters over the years. Anyway, college is already free, or at least the valuable part of it is, and then the arbitrary part of it is not free and increasingly expensive. And so that needs to change. We need to decouple those, I think. That's a huge cultural / market thing. It's a difficult thing, but in the meantime, making college free, I think, only incentivizes college administrators to continue charging the prices they are for degrees which will increasingly become more common and therefore less valuable, which means the certification becomes less valuable. And then, I mean, if you're getting the high quality education, great, but you could have also gotten that education from the library and YouTube. So, complicated issue, complicated stuff, interesting question. That's my take on it. I guess the question, if you want to preserve college, would be, does college provide something that you can't get elsewhere for a better price? And the cynic in me says no, but let's hold that out and let's say maybe. Let's say that maybe there is justification for something. There's a thing that college does that you just can't get any other way. I just don't know what it is yet. I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are on this, so please in the comments below, tell me about, tell each other and me about college. What is it that it is providing that you can't get from a library and YouTube, and maybe a makerspace or something else that fills in kind of the hands-on side? I think college is valuable, particularly like research institutions in the STEM fields. I think that's a useful thing. Research in humanities, I'm not terribly impressed with. That's mostly because I did an English degree and I'm just not all that impressed with it. So much BS, speaking from experience. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you next time, and for more stuff. Sometimes it's hands-on, sometimes it's thoughts about a fundamental thing like the relationship between college and the market. And yeah, it's usually good and basic.